Hello, everybody. Today I want to talk to you about 5 things I wish we'd known about Santa's Wonderland in College Station, Texas. We just took our second trip to Santa's Wonderland, and we are big Disney fans in our family. So automatically, when I go to a place like this, I'm comparing it to Disney. And in a lot of ways, Santa's Wonderland is a lot like Disneyland or Disney World. First of all, it's immaculately clean. They pay extreme attention to detail in all the surroundings. There are great places to take pictures, photo ops galore just everywhere you look. And they have a very friendly cast that aims to please. But in a lot of ways, it's also like Disney in that it can be a bit costly. There are long lines, and to really get the most out of Santa's Wonderland, it requires planning to get the most out of it. So let's jump right into the 5 things I wish we'd known about Santa's Wonderland. So the first thing I want to talk about here is the parking, and this is a pretty big deal at Santa's Wonderland. And I was really blindsided the first time we went because we wasted probably over an hour, easily over an hour, because we didn't know what we were doing when it came to parking. So what you have on the side of Highway 6 of Santa's Wonderland, there are the paid lots, which 2 of the 3 are reservation only. So if you don't have a reservation, you can't get in. On the other side of Highway 6, they have some free parking lots that have shuttle service that goes to the park. But if you don't know, what happens is you end up getting off on the access road, you have to loop around, then you're waiting in these long lines, only to realize, oh, I can't get into these lots. So then you have to go loop around again, come back to the other side of the highway, wait in another long line to get into the free lots, and then you're stuck in another long line waiting for a shuttle to get over there. So after all of that, it takes a lot of time. So the second time we went, we were prepared for that, and we actually got a reservation, which I highly recommend because it saves so much time getting in. I think we paid about $15 for the lot, and it was well worth the time that we saved. The next thing I wish I'd known before we went to Santa's Wonderland was to be prepared for lines and how to plan to get to the attractions quicker. So kind of the big deal is the hayride, which is what it sounds like. It's a hayride that takes you through just this massive area with just what seems like billions of lights. It really is amazing. But the first time we went to Santa's Wonderland, we waited over an hour and a half to get on that hayride. And while it was really cool, it was a long line. And then later that night we noticed there was like no line. You could walk right up and get right on the hayride without waiting at all. So it takes a little planning. Get there early. Like the second time we went straight to the hayride and we walked right up, no waiting. So get there early, or maybe wait till the crowds thin out to do the hayride, just to skip that ride. Or if you want to, you can buy the carriage ride, which my kids were dying to do. We didn't do it, but I think we probably will next year because it looks really cool. It's a horse-drawn carriage and looks like a truly magical experience. So the other lines in the park, there's lines for everything, including food. And I noticed after we waited in a long line for a funnel cake that there were QR codes posted on the walls where you can actually scan those and order your food and then go pick them up at the window instead of waiting in line. So be on the lookout for those instead of waiting in line for food, because that can save you some time as well. The other obvious ways to avoid lines, go on a weeknight. Get there early. They have early days where they have early admission, and they actually have a crowd forecast page on their website, which I'll put a link in the description so you can kind of see when the best days to go are to avoid those lines. The next thing I wish we'd known before we went to Santa's Wonderland the first time is not to pay full price for the tickets. My goodness, it can be expensive to go to Santa's Wonderland if you don't know that they run specials and things. And we paid full price the first year, and it was a little bit painful. And this year, luckily, I took advantage. They do like a Christmas in July sale, and I actually bought our tickets in July. And I think we paid $24.95 for the adult tickets and $19.95 for the child tickets, which is much easier than, like, if you go buy them at the gate, it's $51.95 for an adult and $46.95 for a child. So that's, I mean, we saved over 50% there just by buying the tickets early through those specials. And what they'll do, you know, they'll send out the special and they'll say, okay, last chance, this is it, the sale's going away. And I think they did that for a few months. So if you miss it in July, don't fret. There will likely be more opportunities. The other thing I will say is if you miss one of the sales, just buying the tickets online is cheaper than buying them at the gate. So at least buy them online if you don't take advantage of one of the sales. The next thing to be aware of when going to Santa's Wonderland is the weather. This is Texas, so it could be just like, you could be sweaty out there, or you could be absolutely freezing. And that was the case the first year. We were cold. Like I already mentioned, we had to wait in some lines, and we had little ones, and we were just uncomfortably cold. It was a little too much. But there's some charm about going when it's cold, right? Because you want it to be Christmassy. You want it to be cold because that's kind of adds to the magic of the experience. But at the same time, we just didn't wear enough clothes the first time. So just bring layers, because almost everything you do at Santa's Wonderland is outside. And if you are going to be waiting in line, and if you go play in the snow, because they have real snow, you might be wet too. So just pay attention to what you wear. Layer up. Maybe wear a shell that can protect you from some of that wetness from the snow. And they do have, and this is really cool, they have fires around the park. There's one really big one kind of in the main area, and then there's some where you can go roast your own hot dogs and s'mores. So when it's cold out, it's really fun to huddle around those fires, listen to some live music with some hot cocoa or a funnel cake or something like that. Pretty cool. And the last thing that I wish I'd kind of been more prepared for, although we adapted pretty well when going to Santa's Wonderland, is just be prepared for quality time. Because like when we go to Disney, we're just like running around like crazy, trying to get from attraction to attraction. That's not really the case at Santa's Wonderland. Although they're adding new stuff every year, like they added ice skating this year, and there's stuff to do. You're not really jumping around like you would be at Disney. Rather, just be prepared for a lot of your stay to find a cozy spot, sit around, just spending time together, enjoying the lights, music, good food and drink, and just the overall magical surroundings. Think of it a little bit just like if you're familiar with Disney, just spending some time to hang out on Main Street, USA. You know, it's that kind of thing. And the kids were really okay with this. Like, we have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I asked them what their favorite things were after we went this year. And my 3-year-old said he liked throwing snowballs in the snow, of course. I think he wants to move to the mountains. But my 6-year-old, she said her favorite thing was sitting in the rocking chairs, listening to the live music, and eating a funnel cake. Like, that was it for her. She enjoyed that, and we did pretty much everything there. So it's a magical place. Just be prepared to kind of downshift while you're there. And that's it. That's what I wish we had known before we went the first time. And we do plan to go again. We like Santa's Wonderland a lot. It's become kind of a family tradition for us. And I hope this was helpful. And Merry Christmas.